Well, welcome to the sleep clinic. Are you feeling nice and comfortable? Fantastic. Well, there is no need to be nervous. This evening, all we're going to be doing is I will be asking you a series of questions about your sleep. Very simple indeed. I just need you to be honest and open, and hopefully this will not only help us to discover more about people's sleeping habits as part of our research here at the sleep clinic, but it will also help you to understand a little bit more about your sleeping habits, and we'll be able to give you some advice on how to sleep even better. Absolutely. So, are you happy to move forward? Wonderful. Now, despite the fact that we are in a sleep clinic, obviously we don't live in a completely silent world, so you may hear some external noises. Just try to remain committed to this moment and this time, and I'm sure you'll feel very relaxed during the process. If at any time you'd like to stop and take a break, have a sip of your drink, that's absolutely fine. You just let me know. I have around 50 questions. We may get through them all. I'll see how we go. Alright, let me get my pen. Okay. So, question number 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how would you rate your sleep? Okay. How long, on average, does it take for you to fall asleep? Oh no, absolutely, you don't have to give 1 or 2 word answers. This is as much of a time for you to just sort of, have a discussion about your sleep, so feel free to babble away, as it were. Okay, so it very much depends on the sort of situation and where you are, home or away. Okay, great. Fantastic. Do you or have you previously taken any natural remedies to help you sleep? So, for example, there are some lavender remedies that you can take for relaxation, so anything like that. Okay. And how did you get on with those? Lots of the people that I've spoken to, it's really quite a mixed result, if I'm honest. Some people find them very useful for sleep. Other people find them more useful for dealing with periods of stress and anxiety. So it's really a mix, but that's good to know. Do you experience dreams when you sleep? Now, they say that everybody does dream, it's just whether we're aware of it or not. But do you think you do dream? Okay. And following that, do you recall the dreams when you wake up? How does that make you feel? Yeah. It's always good to have a good dream. It is. Have you ever experienced lucid dreaming? So where you're sort of aware that you are dreaming sort of subconsciously? Okay, no, that's fine. How often do you experience nightmares? It's interesting you should say that. We have sort of discovered actually that it can very much be influenced actually by different sort of foods. Now, some people believe this and some people don't, but they say that if you have particularly rich sort of foods with dairy and things like that, perhaps a lot of chocolate as well before bed, then this can have an influence on whether you have a dream or have a nightmare. And I have found this myself, so I am in support of this. So it's interesting that you mentioned sort of how that has impacted you. And do you find that you also get nightmares when you're particularly stressed or worried, or do you just find that it can be at random? Yep. Okay. Good. Question number 8. Do you remember the nightmares when you wake up? Yeah. Can be difficult. Okay. And my next question is, do you find that the nightmares have a negative impact on the rest of your day? Yeah. Okay. Do you tend to dwell on your dreams and their meanings? Okay. Would you consider yourself a spiritual person then? Okay. Great. Do you find yourself sort of Googling different sort of meanings then? Yeah. Do you find that brings you comfort? Good. Okay. Have you ever gone through a period of prolonged sleep deprivation? Tell me about that. How long did that last for? That must have been difficult for you. how long did it take you then to get back into a more regular sleeping pattern? Okay. You're doing really well. Really well. It's always nice when we get someone who's willing to have a bit more of a conversation. Really helps with our research. So thank you. Okay. If you're in a relationship, and you don't have to say if you are or not, but if you are, how affected are you by your partner's sleep habits, so snoring, etc.? Okay. Yes. Snoring, yes, it's not wonderful, is it? Need to invest in a very good pair of earphones. Or ideally deal with your partner's snoring. Yes. Okay. Do you have a regular nighttime routine? And if so, would you walk me through it? Okay. Wonderful. Alright. Do you tend to look at your devices before bedtime? So this could be, I always say, within a sort of 2-hour window of sleep, or actually in bed itself. Phone, tablet, TV, any sort of device with a bright light. Yeah. Okay. No, it's better to be honest, that's fine. It's very, very common. You can get things like blue light protectors for your devices, which, have said to sort of have a good effect not only on your eye health, but also, helping you get to sleep a little bit better. I would say we have found people who do tend to look at their devices, especially in bed, are sort of more awake mentally and therefore will often take a longer time to get to sleep. So, but that's fine, Very, very common, as I said. When you are on your device then, do you tend to find that you're looking through social media, or are you looking on games, or just, I don't know, online shopping? What are you sort of doing? Okay. Yeah. It sort of feeds into this addictive behaviour that we can experience. So that's good to know anyway. That's good. How do you find that a bad night's sleep affects you the next day and sort of what you're doing? Okay. Okay. Lots of coffee needed then. Yeah, okay. Do you often turn to sort of caffeine or sugar then to give you that boost after a bad night's sleep? Yeah. And how do you find that a good night's sleep sort of impacts, on your next day? Yeah? Fantastic. And sort of following on from that then, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very, how productive are you after a good night's sleep? Yeah, fantastic. And how productive are you, 1 to 10, after a bad night's sleep? Okay. We need to get you sleeping well then, don't we? Yeah. How important is a good night's sleep to you? Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay. Almost halfway through. Let's move on to our next set of questions. You do okay? Would you like to just take a sip of water or? Fantastic. Okay. How comfortable on a scale of 1 to 10 are you, 10 being very, when you get into bed? Okay. Is your mattress very comfortable? Pillows? Okay. Do you find yourself struggling to switch off mentally when you actually get into bed? We can have so much running through our minds, can't we? Yeah. That's why I like to ask about social media, just because I feel like that in particular can keep the brain sort of ticking over. Yeah. Okay. Good. Have you ever, or do you currently, listen to relaxing music or perhaps a sleep story to help you sleep? Do you mind me asking what type? Great. For me, I actually really enjoy sort of quite white noise style sounds to help me sleep. I love sleep stories. But I would say pretty much every night, even if I have a story on top of it, I always have the sound of either a busy city, so sort of that sound of a little bit of hustle and bustle, cars, things like that, or I love the sound of a train going along, or the sound of a crackling fire, or rain, just anything really to sort of drown out that sort of silent feeling. Absolutely, I feel like if you're an overactive thinker, if you are laying there in dead silence, your mind is much more likely to keep on taking over. Whereas if you have some kind of sound going on, I feel like that lessens that a little bit. For me anyway. But that's good to know about you. So have you ever tried any hypnosis style recordings to help you sleep or to help with anxiety, anything like that? Is there a particular voice style that you prefer? Any accent preference? Yes, I like a particular app that has hypnosis recordings, and I believe the man has an Irish accent. I wouldn't be able to say the particular region, as I know there are different parts of Ireland that sound very different. But yes, it's very, very relaxing. Very relaxing. Anyway, good. So I'll just pop that down. Have you ever sought help from a healthcare professional regarding, a period of bad sleep that you've had? Okay. When was that? Okay. And were you ever prescribed any medication for sleep? How did you find those? They're quite strong. Yeah, I would say they're very good for a very short period of time. It's not something you want to be taking, every night. Yeah. Good. Okay. Question 28. Do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night? Okay. And how long does it take you normally to get back to sleep? It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because once your mind is activated, it's very, very difficult to try and quickly shut it back down. Yeah. Do you typically then, when you wake up, tend to remain in bed, sort of staring at the ceiling, or do you get up? Okay. Remain in bed. Describe to me your sleeping position. Yeah. Sure. How are you sort of most comfortable then? Right. Yeah. For me, I'm typically sort of a side to front sleeper, I would say, which can often end up with my neck being rather sort of twisted. But sleeping how you're most comfortable is very important. Very important. And that's why it's equally important to get the right sort of pillows and bedding and mattress to support you when you're sleeping. Okay, let's make a note of that. Do you drink caffeinated drinks? What do you tend to prefer? Okay, coffee. I love tea myself. Although I switched to drinking just decaf tea about a year or two ago. I'll have the occasional caffeine for a pick-me-up, but I find I just feel more relaxed in general by drinking decaf. Do you often have a drink before you go to sleep? And if so, what do you tend to drink? Okay. And is that caffeinated? Okay. Do you just have one? Yeah. Do you have a snack to go along with that? Do you find yourself feeling angry or annoyed when you can't go to sleep? I'm sort of frustrated, yeah. Okay. And what time do you usually go to bed? Okay. Is that the same every night? Varies. Okay. Do you have to wake up at the same time every day? Wish you didn't. Yep. That is the general consensus from people. Yep. You're not a morning person then? No, neither am I have to say. That's fine. Do you tend to take naps during the day? And if so, do you take them quite regularly? And how long typically are they for? Okay. Interestingly, men are more prone to napping than women. But anyway, that's just a fun fact. But let me just note that down. And have you always been a sort of a napper? Do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night hungry or struggling to fall asleep because of hunger? Yeah. I love a snack. I love a snack in the evening, and I do find that if I'm laying in bed and I'm hungry, I know that I won't fall asleep unless I get something to eat. Okay, that's good. Good to know. Does having a bad day impact on how quickly you're able to fall asleep? Sure. That mind's working away. Yeah. Okay. Do you find then you sleep better when you've had a good day? Interesting. So, would it be fair to say then, when you are sort of in a bad frame of mind after having a bad day, that sort of energy is built up within almost the same as when you have a good day and you're on that adrenaline sort of high, and both ways actually can sort of stimulate you not falling asleep. Would that be fair to say? Yeah. It's very, very common. I find I sleep best on average days. Days with not too much sort of going on. I personally need to get out in the light during the day and to sort of do some kind of exercise or activity. Otherwise I struggle to wind down in the evening. But I do find that on the busier days, good or bad, I do struggle to fall asleep quickly. Anyway, how comfortable do you find your pillows? Great. Do you like a firm pillow or a soft pillow? Somewhere in between. Oh, me, I tend to like sleeping on just one pillow. It normally has to be sort of quite firm. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, quite firm. I'm sleeping on a feather pillow at the moment, which is quite dense actually. Yes. Have you ever experienced night sweats? Mm-hmm. Do you find they're accompanied by a nightmare? No, okay. And what do you do if you sort of wake up and you find yourself, quite sweaty? Yeah. No, I've experienced it myself. It's not a great feeling, but yeah, it can be quite common. Okay. Do you find yourself feeling hot or cold in bed? Okay. Do you prefer the warm or cold side of your pillow? Okay, good. Yeah, it's normally the opposite there. So if you feel cold in bed, you quite like a warm side of the pillow. But anyway. Okay, so moving on to the final set of questions. Do you need a drink or a break? You sure? Wonderful. So, what do you like to sleep in when you go to bed? Yeah? Of course, seasonal sort of changes, yeah. I don't expect you to be in a jumper in the summer, no. Although I have been known to take a hot water bottle on a summer holiday. Yes, well, yes, I'm a very strange person sometimes. Anyway, each to their own. Do you take a shower or bath before bed? Yeah. Do you find yourself overthinking when in bed? I think I know the answer to this. I know that feeling. Do you struggle to get up in the morning? / are you a morning person? Do you read or watch TV before bed? I know we spoke about devices, but do you tend to watch sort of traditional TV or read a book before bed? Mainly the devices. Okay. And, obviously we have spoken about what you do like to do on your device, but let's say if you were watching something, whether it be on your device or television, what sort of topics would you typically watch if you were watching a program or a film? Would it be something quite light-hearted, or would it be something funny, or a drama or a thriller? Okay. Great. Person after my own heart. Would you consider yourself to be a highly strung person? Okay. Did you sleep well as a child? I know it can be quite difficult to remember. From what you remember, you were okay. Good. How has your sleep changed over the years? Yeah. We tend to require less sleep the older we get, and we're unable to sleep as long the older we get. And obviously you take on more responsibilities and there are more life changes and things going on, so it's very natural to have a more disturbed sleep pattern as we age. Yeah. Okay then, the very last question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very, how important is a good night's sleep to you? Great. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and be part of our sleep research. It really does make a difference, so thank you. Before you go, I'm just going to have a quick look over your answers, just see if there's any advice I can give you. Obviously you are part of our ongoing sleep research, so we are going to continue to work with you and help you get that perfect night's sleep. But I always like to give a little bit of feedback if you'd like that. Fantastic. Let's have a look through then. Okay, so I've starred a couple of things that stood out. So the caffeinated drinks, that is an issue when it comes to sleep. So I would try and switch that up for something that is decaf. Let's see. When it does come to devices, you know, especially if you like to look at, say, a video or something relaxing before you sleep, it can be hard to not flick through other things in your device. I would try to turn the brightness down as low as possible. Try and make sure there's a good distance between you and your device, just enough so you can see, and don't have anything too loud on. So there we are. You also mentioned, let me see, your sort of remedies when you go to sleep. Yeah. Well, I think, doing what works for you is very, very important, and if you found some success with that, then I would say there's no harm in carrying on. Yeah, I'm all for sort of natural remedies for things. Now, when I asked how comfortable you were, I always look for people saying 10 out of 10. And if it's not 10 out of 10, I would question your sort of sleeping arrangement. So I would be tempted to go back home and just get into your bed and really think, am I comfortable on this mattress? Am I comfortable with these sheets or duvet and pillow? Really take a moment to just assess what you're not comfortable with and see how you could take that score up to a 10. Absolutely. But from what you've discussed with me, there's nothing unusual. I would say that just making some small changes to how comfortable you are, reducing those caffeinated drinks and making sure those devices are a good, distance away, I would say that would start to improve how quickly you fall asleep and the quality of your sleep. Do you have any questions at all? You sure? Fantastic. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you again soon to continue the rest of our study. Wonderful. When you're ready, please feel free to just leave, as it were. But thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. and I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep tonight. You're very welcome. Yeah, bye-bye. Bye. Ah, wonderful. Okay, just gonna fill this part in, and I'll get it all typed up on the system.